Hello, 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 beautiful people. How are you today? Today is another episode of Relaxed and Raunchy Relationship Podcast with me, Ingrid Galloway, and with my beautiful guest, Naomi Cao. Naomi is a pharmacist by trade, but always been keen to explore, inspire, and empower those around her. She has been coaching and educating children for over 25 years. Unfortunately, 4 years ago, her marriage ended suddenly, and the stability in her family life was rocked. Well, I know a lot of divorced people in my community facing the unknown as a single parent, which must be tough. In the process, in the process of separation and divorce, Naomi founded a support group for women in 2018 facing similar situations. Through the support group, Naomi helped establish a safe environment. Oh, good on you, where women could share their feelings, overcome their anxieties, and process their emotions while going through their separation and divorce. That is just so crucial, like having a support system. Oh, so needed. For the last couple of years, Naomi has helped many women and men communicate better with their ex partners and process their emotions and see the positivity in their journey ahead. I guess that's what you do as a divorce coach and strategist, right?
Yeah.
And recently, Naomi completed her NLP training and is now a qualified NLP coach and practitioner. Welcome, Naomi.
Thank you for having me, Ingrid. Um, Ingrid Galloway is the founder, relationship coach, and chief relaxation officer at KAHYANGAN, which means heaven. She's been a relationship coach for 12 years and a spa therapist for 22 years. I've had the pleasure of having you as my spa therapist as well. She practices from KAHYANGAN in Sydney and from clients' homes, offices, and hotel rooms, online and from retreat locations. Her work is always focused on stress, relaxation. I've had that experience as well. And relationships, and always ready to look after loving and not so loving couples and broken, lonely hearted singles. She does one on one coaching, sessions, groups, workshops, virtual retreats, and in person retreats. So, yeah, thanks for having
Wonderful.
me.
Yay! Thank you so much for coming. Now, Naomi, my first question is always, what is your why? I'm always intrigued to find out why do you do what you do?
I guess part of it came in the introduction you gave. I've always, wanted to explore different avenues of solving problems.
Yeah.
I like to inspire the people that I work with,
Yes.
so that they can actually look at my journey or look at the work that I do and feel as though, yes, I can make a difference in their world, and also to empower those around me so that they feel like they've got an active voice in the
Mm.
decision that they choose to take, that they are no longer passive in their journey of moving forward, that they take control of their life and play an active part.
Yes,
Yeah.
fabulous. People like to take control of their lives. So, but sometimes people feel like they're the victim of situation. Well, in this case, with separation, it's never easy. It's
Yes.
both parties. So, good on you for inspiring people to take control of their lives.
Thank you. Thank you. I guess it comes. It was shortly after my separation in 2018 when it was my daughter's birthday. And she asked me, Mum, can I have a superhero party? And I said, yeah, of course, and I've done birthday parties for my children before. So
Yes.
I've always sort of like thought, okay, she wanted a superhero party. I went out and I thought, okay, she, at that time, Wonder Woman was big. So I
Yeah.
thought, okay, I'll do a Wonder Woman party for you. And I was looking up entertainers and thinking, okay, Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll hire one of those party entertainment. And then I had a moment and I thought, you know what? Maybe I'll dress up with her as well. So,
Ooh.
yeah, so it was that turning point, I guess, where I thought, I've been through this separation. It was still fairly fresh. I thought, I'm going to buy this Wonder Woman outfit and I'm going to dress up with my daughter. And if anything at all, I want her to feel as though my mum is my Wonder Woman. And I guess that was my drive as well. That was my drive. So I got to dress up as Wonder Woman with my daughter,
Yeah.
took photos together, and
Yeah.
yeah. And so from that point, I think that was a bit of a turning point for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that is so beautiful. You become the source of inspiration for her and for yourself, I guess, for that moment, the energy, you must feel good.
Oh, it was a wonderful experience because as much as it was a physical costume that
Yes.
I got to dress up in, her Wonder Woman with her
Yes.
bulletproof thing and the outfit, I think it was a representation of me moving forward and
Yes.
how I could change my path and be active in that change.
Amazing.
So, yeah,
Thank you so much for sharing that.
you're welcome. Yeah. So I guess that was probably the point for me, and I did a couple of things along the way as well. I decided I actually wanted to, um, you know, give my children different experiences in life where they think mum and dad are not together anymore.
Mm.
There is probably a speed hump, but how do we learn from that, and how do we pick up from that? And I took my kids camping.
Oh.
Took my kids
That can
camping.
be empowering.
It was, and we'd been to so many trips overseas, and we are very fortunate. We lead a very good life, and
Yeah.
but after that, I just thought, I would take my children out camping out in the wilderness and pitching up tents and doing marshmallows and fireplaces, and they went away and said that was one of the best holidays they've ever had. So those little rewards, those little rewards.
Yeah. Moments don't have to be expensive all the time. You don't have to spend a gazillion amount of money
No.
to have beautiful, memorable moments.
Oh, it was the first time, I guess, like I traveled with a group of friends. We sat around the fire. We got to tell stories, and it was those moments that my children actually got to learn some stories about things I used to do as a child.
Yeah.
Because around the campfire, you've got this beautiful fire burning, and you've got all these people telling stories about all the things that we used to do as kids. And the kids, for a moment, they thought, "Mum, you were that naughty once." We
You are
all,
still, having that wild energy. I can just tell. Until
yeah,
now, why shunted your inner child, right? Let it
that's right.
shine, let it
Let it
shine.
shine, and embrace the change, and embrace the challenges.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, so good. Thank you so much for sharing that.
That's okay. Um, yeah, I guess. How about you? What drives your why?
Yes. So I was born and bred in Indonesia, and I moved to Australia at the age of 21 to marry my first husband. And unfortunately, it was an abusive relationship. So after 10 years of marriage, I left after 3 attempts, and I suffered from depression, anxiety, all the juicy stuff. And then in my self healing journey, I went to several self development seminars, seeing a couple of therapists, and also went back to college to study counseling and life coaching. And straight away, I knew that I would be a coach, not a counselor. And straight away, I knew that my niche will be in relationship. And don't ask me to be a sport coach because I will suck at it. It's just not my thing, but relationship is definitely my thing. I love it. I love it. People said, "Oh my God, Ingrid, you have to sit through that." I said, but I love it. It's
Yeah,
not for everyone. Just like you, a divorce coach and strategist, it's not for everyone.
it's not for
Uh,
everyone. No,
yeah,
not
yeah,
at all.
it's
And
not
I
for
guess,
everyone.
yeah, and it's amazing the experiences that I guess you come from as well has
Mhm.
enriched probably a lot of what you bring to the coaching side for your clients as well.
That's right. That's right. It's quite typical that a lot of uh, helpers actually has been gone through rock bottom moments before, and they come out the other way, seeing the silver lining, the lessons, and then they now inspire and help others to come up the other way. Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's a full cycle. It's a hero's journey, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful story because, like I do see, um, I mean, for the majority, I've mainly supported women going through abusive relationships, whether
Mhm,
it be alcohol abuse, drug abuse, physical violence,
mhm.
to emotional abuse, financial abuse, and sort of like seeing them come out the other end and working with them so they feel empowered,
Mm.
and that they're able to take control of their life again, has been amazing, and it's been
It's
so
so
rewarding.
rewarding.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
rewarding.
it is very rewarding just to see them be able to take those little steps and go, you know what, I can do this. And, and it starts off with something very, very little. And, part of separation and divorce, we do get a very heated exchange between emails and SMSs. And it could be things as little
Yes.
as, picking up the kids from, and it starts off this flame. And it can spiral out of control really quickly.
Yes.
And initially, a lot of my clients will say, Naomi, I got this email or this SMS from my ex-partner.
Yep.
This is my response. And then I said, yep, okay, I get your response. But let's paraphrase that slightly
Yes.
different so that it takes out the emotion, because what you're actually
Yes.
trying to say can be said in other words.
Yes.
And I think that that's the important thing that we all need to do. I mean, when I was going through my separation and divorce, I was lucky to have family support.
Yep.
A lot of people don't have that.
Yep.
And so my family, my sisters ended up pointing those things, obvious things out to me. But I work with my clients and say, yes, that's your message. I can
Yeah.
feel your feelings and your emotions and the anger.
Yes.
But how can we say this more constructively
That's
so that we get the other parent to cooperate
yes.
by fueling less to the fire? And that's been really an eye opener for some people,
Yes.
just to say, yep, you're right, I get that. And sometimes by me being there, it gives a medium for people to feel like they're being heard. I think that's
Definitely. So you become the referee in between puncher number one and puncher number two.
pretty much. Yeah.
Between the boxers, you are the referee in the middle.
Yes. Yes.
Now, Naomi, if I can ask you, some of my tribe members have friends or family members that are going through separation or divorce, obviously.
Yes.
What kind of words that we as friend or family members shouldn't say to them, as it can add more stress? Yeah. And then what three tips that you can share for someone who is going through separation or divorce to make their journey less stressful? I think you just mentioned number one with the choice of words, paraphrasing, but I'll leave it to you. So if
Yeah.
you can answer that.
I guess the three tips that I would um, advise for people going through separation and divorce
Yeah.
is, number one, to probably think about looking after their own health and their well-being. So what I did and what I encourage a lot of people do is, thinking about your physical health. And that could mean going on short walks, getting a personal trainer, and depending on what you can afford as well. But, short walks in nature
Yes.
gives you that fresh air, that vitamin D from the sun. And, when you're actually exercising, it releases all those feel-good hormones as well. So it puts your mind in a really good headspace.
Right.
So that is really tip number one, to look after yourself. Tip number two, I would normally recommend that they actually see a therapist or a coach, for them to be able to air their grievances. Some people automatically go into and see a lawyer, and then they end up spilling all their emotional. a lawyer's office is not that place. But a safe space to do it is in a counselling session, whether with a psychologist, a psychotherapist, a counsellor, where they actually talk through that emotion and process that through that emotion as well. And then the other thing is to also find your group of friends who are there to emotionally support you through the process. So a lot of it is about finding and networking your resource center in order to work through the daily things. So yeah, those are the things that I would say the 3 tips going through separation and divorce.
Yes.
Yeah.
So personal support, a group of friends, and professional support as well, such as seeing a counselor or seeing someone like me, a coach.
Yep.
And what about for friends and family members? What should
What can
we
they do?
say?
Yeah, what have
Yeah,
they,
what shouldn't we say
we,
to that can add more stress to the one that's going through a divorce?
I think a lot of the times when people are going through the the journey, is that they feel trapped and they don't have somebody to talk to. So a lot of the times you might not even have to say anything, but just to be
Mm,
there to listen,
yes.
not to even give advice, because sometimes you might not need to give advice, but
Yeah.
it's being heard. And being able to help them with day-to-day function things, like maybe pop in a meal, give them a meal, can I help you with running the kids around, or those type of external support is very, very important, just to keep the day-to-day running as normal as possible. I
Yes.
think that's the best that you can do. Um, and just sort of like, being able there to listen, but not invalidate their opinions and say, oh, what will be, all those classic things. I think it invalidates people's feelings.
Feelings. Yeah.
But so it's better just to, acknowledge it. I'm sad that you're going through that time, and just validating it that way, rather than, I think a lot of the times as friends and families, we generally like to offer support by giving advice, but sometimes it's just better to listen.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not the right advice. Know when to shut up can be a good thing as well.
That's right. Yeah. So, and and how about you? What are your 3 tips for relationships and going through?
Yeah. So today I would like to say something about rebalancing your sacral chakra. Now, some people may not be aware what is chakra. So chakras are the circular vortexes of energy that are placed in 7 different points on the spinal column. And sacral chakra is the second chakra we have. The first one is the base, where our genitals are,
Mm-hmm.
right? And sacral chakra is the one above it. So underneath the belly button, in between the genitals and the belly button. So this chakra influences your creativity, your gut instinct, confidence in artistic expression. It influences how inspired you feel, the general joy and pleasure in life, satisfaction in romantic relationship,
Oh,
your ability to express your emotions. We've been mentioning about emotions, but mainly the angry kinds, right?
yes, yes,
When your sacral chakra is not in balance, it affects your day-to-day life in many ways, such as sexual repression or
yeah.
sexual addiction. So one is down, one is up. So depending whether you're overactive or underactive, and many other symptoms. But I just due to time, I just mentioned these 2 things.
Yep.
So, how to restore the balance and proper energy flow to your sacral chakra? I recommend number 1, be creative. So, let your energy flow by exploring new or old hobbies. You deal with kids a lot. You've been coaching kids for many, many
A
years.
long time, yeah.
Yeah, try dancing, writing, drawing, participating in other playful activities. Now,
Yes,
kids do this. Yeah,
yeah.
you teach kids to do this. And as adults, sometimes we forget how to be kids.
So
and
true.
how to connect with our inner child. So do that, be creative and do various things that kids do.
I agree.
Yeah. Number two, I know that you love food, so you may like this one, sacral chakra foods. So
Yep.
the color orange relates to this sacral chakra. So orange foods can help balance your sacral chakra. This includes sweet potato, carrots, orange bell peppers. So if you can eat more of those things, it can help to rebalance you. Now, number three, my favorite, spa treatments such as massage and facial. You know,
All
one
my
of my
favorite things.
one of my favorite methods to rebalance myself is to receive energy from other therapists because my job is to give. Yeah, whether
And
it's
I receive.
um, so I just love receiving energy from other therapists, you know, whether it's massage, facial, or chiro, or osteo, or acupuncture. I just love to receive that sort of things. And touch, especially, it just delivers a different kind of energy. uh, it can rebalance your, because sacral chakra is often related to your sexuality, sensuality. So not, you know, we touch someone to be sexual, but the energy is very intimate, right? And for my clients, I like to place a heavy basalt hot stones below
Mhm.
the belly button and on the sacrum as well. Or you can accompany it with crystal that has orange color, such as carnelian. So the act of receiving love without guilt. Now remember, parents, especially if they're separating, they have a lot of guilt, bucket load
Totally.
of guilt. So the act of receiving love without guilt is encouraged. Simply state to the universe, even without words, that you are grateful to accept pleasure, abundance, and you deserve to enjoy life. And so you rebalance yourself.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. And I didn't realize all of that stuff about the orange things as well. Cause, like I love orange food, carrots I put in my salads and, the
Yeah.
bell peppers and
Yes.
mangoes and oranges and
Yeah.
grapes. Yeah. So I've learned something new.
Yes, the orange foods. It
Yeah,
helps.
that's right.
Now, people, we come to the fun side of the podcast, which is guessing the true and false statement from Naomi. Naomi said she enjoys dancing and singing incorrect song words. Very cheeky. And then number two, Naomi is allergic to chocolates. I can't imagine that you're allergic to chocolate. So I'm guessing number one is true. You enjoy dancing and singing incorrect song words.
Love it. So much so that my daughter
Yeah.
does it as well, and she picks up her own words. So we, it's quite funny. We do this quite a fair bit. We'll go driving, and we will have the music on really loud, and the
Yeah.
children and I sing really crazy words that we just end up laughing in hysterics because sometimes the words that I thought I hear are
Yeah.
actually not the words.
No, no. I'm terrible with song lyrics. That's why I probably hum the melody, but the lyrics are terrible. And it's so
Terrible.
funny.
It was only recently that I went to a karaoke with a group of friends, and I'm thinking, those are actually the lyrics. So, yep, love the good old songs with incorrect lyrics and daggy dancing. I love doing dancing that will embarrass the kids. Anything that actually adds laughter,
Yes.
I'm all for it.
Oh, definitely. There you go. You have your own way to rebalance your sacral
Yeah,
chakra
totally,
already.
totally. And
Awesome.
I'm not allergic to chocolate. I love chocolate, milk chocolate.
And would you like to guess my true and false statements?
Okay, well, I've got Ingrid's too. Ingrid and her kids experienced flooding on the train going to school.
Woo.
And Ingrid and her kids experienced a gas explosion on the train going to school.
Ooh.
Geez, this is going to be a bit hard. I would say the gas explosion is the false one.
Oh, you are incorrect.
No.
It's the true one. So recently, because we have moved to a place far, far away from where you are,
Yep.
um, we have to commute to school, back and forth. Well, just the act of dropping the kids to school and pick them up, totaling around about 5 hours a day. So it's a fair bit. It's a fair bit. But then on the train, suddenly, you know, something happened. A smell, a very, very strong smell. And I looked at the kids. I looked at my eldest. I looked at my youngest. And then, what's that? So someone just went past us. And I bet you they just let loose. I said, that smelled like a dead rat.
Oh gosh.
Someone must have gone like all the way through and I don't know, having diarrhea in their pants or something like that because
Oh
the
no.
smell was so strong. I was like, whoa, what's that?
Oh, so it was a different type of gas.
Oh yes, it's a gas explosion, all right. It's
I thought it was a huge explosion. It's another explosion.
it's the really unsavory kind.
Uh, well, they did say my kids have convinced me that
Yeah.
human gas explosions
Yeah.
are apparently beneficial in slowing dementia rates.
Oh really?
I
I
don't
would
know.
I will not take that medication for sure.
I don't think I would want to try either.
I will choose other ways.
Yes,
If there are any, I'm sure there are many.
that's right. Yeah, 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 for sure.
So now, people, we come to the last question, Naomi. What do you do to either relax or add raunchiness into your relationship?
I guess for me, it's a different part in my life now, I think,
Yeah.
is to enjoy all the positives out of everyday life. And it could be, the little things.
Mm.
For me, each morning, I might take 5 minutes out of my day to, do my makeup. And
Yeah.
it's not to go out and impress anyone, but it's that 5 minutes that I actually get to spend looking at myself in the mirror and appreciating the person that I am. So, those little things.
Yes.
Other relaxations I'd like to do is I like to do my workouts. I've continued with my workout. I have also a husky that I walk regularly,
Mm.
and enjoying those little moments with the kids, whether it be, I've got two older boys and they're always eating. Um, so
I
um,
love your food post, by the way. It's like food porn. Oh, yay.
So for me, like the midnight snack times with my boys,
Yeah.
when they're meeting me in the kitchen at 10 o'clock at night and they're having wheat bix and yogurt or having another second serve of their risotto,
Yeah.
at that time we have a little bit of a laugh, things that are more appropriate to teenage humor. And we have a very open dialogue, the boys and I. Um, about and it could be things that have M-rated, but they are feeling comfortable to share that with me, and they're
Yeah.
14 and 16.
Yeah.
And it's when their little sister, who's my youngest daughter, who's 9, and she's not there to share those moments, but we can have a bit of a giggle.
Yes.
Those moments really help ground me, and they relax and recharge me.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that.
You're welcome.
So, people, we come to the end of the podcast. Thank you so much, Naomi, for coming
You're
to my
welcome.
podcast. I hope you enjoyed what we had so far. And people, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you like this podcast, Ingrid Galloway. And how can people connect with you further, Naomi, if they have any questions, if they're going through separation, divorce, for example? How can they connect with you?
I've got an email which is forms part of my coaching business with kids and adults, and it's info@davincihub.com. Alternatively, you can also find me on Facebook as well under Divorce Coach and Strategist. So that's, yeah, you can connect with me on social media or via email.
Wonderful. And people, if you need more time to chat with me in regards to your stresses and relationship issues, please go to my website www.kahyangan.com.au. That is KAHYANGAN.com.au, and request a free chat with me, half an hour chat. So there you go. I hope you enjoy your time with me today. And thank you so much for coming again, Naomi.
You're
Next
welcome.
week, we have another super duper guest coming, and we will discuss more about life and relationship and giggle all the way to the funny stories as usual here in Relax and Raunchy Relationship Podcast. Thank you and keep well. Have a good day.